All right, ladies and gentlemen, you are here at the I Love Your Money podcast. Ben, my sweet, sweet husband, is making me learn how to do all the Rumble links and the Instagram links and have it go. Okay, so what do I got to do for Rumble now, honey? It says waiting for stream. Assign reg. What do I got to do now? He's ignoring me, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know what's going on. We're going to let him deal with the Rumble, or Rumble just isn't going to go up and we'll have to post it later. Ladies and gentlemen, that is the reality of live television or live YouTube or Instagram, Twitter, whatever channel you're watching on. Go ahead, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel wherever you're watching, and share the video with people if you get something out of it. I am particularly excited today to have my friend and photographer, Miss Joi Conti, with us. Okay. So not only do I just adore her as a human being, because here's the thing, if you meet her and you don't like her, there's probably something wrong with you. Because she's like one of the nicest people I've ever met in my entire life. She also happens to be one of the most talented photographers I've ever met in my entire life. So when we're getting ready to do team photos for I Love Your Money, if any of you guys have been to our website or our social media and you've seen some of our photos, the credit goes to Miss Joi Conti. I saw her work in various publications like Austin Woman, and I was like, that is so cool. She makes people look so cool. I want her to do my team photos. And what I learned was there's so much more to the photo than, good lighting and good, you know, situating your subject well in the picture, right? There's more to it than that and just that. Did you guys know that you have to actually give your photos good names to help with your SEO before you load them to your website or to your social media? I didn't know that. I've learned a ton. I've learned a ton from Joy, but you know what? You guys aren't here to hear me blah, blah, blah about how great she is. You're here to hear her talk about how great she is. So without further ado, Miss Joi Conti, thank you for joining us on I Love Your Money.
Oh my gosh, Ericka, thank you so much for having me and for that really beautiful intro. I was laughing in the background. You didn't hear, but I was laughing.
You are fabulous. You are fantastic. You guys, I told Joy for our group photos, I wanted the most pink place that we could find. And Museum of Ice Cream was it. That was so much fun.
Yeah.
So tell our audience a little bit, Joy. Give them the 50,000 foot view of how you got into photography and why you're so passionate about it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to figure out, I'm going to go the medium route. I was like, I can go the short route, I can go the long route. And I'm so sorry if you hear meowing in the back, that's one of my cats. Never a dull moment in my office.
I love it. Hey, we don't mind. I'm a cat lover. Anybody watching who doesn't like cats, you know what? You can just deal with it.
But thank you. So I have always been in the arts ever since I was little. I feel like I started off in a different kind of art form, being on stage. I trained in classical ballet, and I think at this point, now that I'm looking back, I guess I did grow up on stage because we always had recitals. We were always asked to perform in one way, shape, or form. So I feel like my body awareness, as well as learning how to present yourself, was something that I did without talking.
Yeah.
And one thing led to the next, that I couldn't continue my dance studies. But that's how I started really looking at photography. I always had a camera in my hands. Like whenever my mom would hand me my lunch for a field trip, it's always like the lunch and then the Barbie camera. It was like a pink Barbie camera where I had to put in the film and everything. So you can figure out how old I was at the age 6, maybe.
Yeah.
That's been going on for a while. And so I leaned into that because I knew that the kind of photography that I loved seeing, this was around high school, were always based off of some sort of fairy tale. It was always
Mm,
something that whoever took the photo used photography as a stage and as a platform to set up a story that goes in front of the camera to be able to capture that story with their camera,
wow.
with their lens. And so I started really trying to do my own photo shoots. I used
Mm,
myself a lot as a model in
yeah.
high school because I didn't really have a lot of people who wanted to model for me. So
Those rotten,
they're sorry.
those rotten twits. How dare they?
How dare they? But also,
I mean, this is what you have to do. When you're an artist, if you are going to wait around for people to like go along with whatever your thing is, good luck. Good
right,
luck, because so much of the time I think we're sort of like ingrained or like trained to think that like the arts are not real, right? Like that's not a real job. That's not something that, whatever. And a lot of my friends, they'll say, "Oh, my parents didn't think I had a real job until, something happened," right? And so it's almost like it's just not given the respect I think it should be. And so you have to, if you want to make art, you have to be self-motivated. You have to not care what anybody else thinks and just go for it.
absolutely, and be open to constructive criticism. Right, there
Mm,
are several types of criticisms, but going through art school, you learn to take constructive criticism,
mm,
which I'm going to get to in a second. Is I started doing my own photo shoots using myself
mm,
as the model because, as you said, if you're motivated enough, you're going to find a way to get something done and to do it, and in
yeah.
a way that helped me realize how I should be posing people if I have
Mm,
somebody in front of me,
yeah.
right? How that would feel effortless in somebody's body.
Mm,
Um, but that led me to go to the Rochester Institute of Technology, RIT, up in Rochester, New York.
nice.
Yeah, and I have my BFA in photographic illustration,
Ooh.
specifically for advertising photography. It's a lot of big words, but
Say that title again, photographic illustration?
yep. I
T-
have to look at my actual. I don't have it hung up like people usually have it hung up, but I have to look at my diploma. Pretty sure it says photographic illustration.
yeah. Well,
Um,
and for those of you who don't know, Rochester Institute is kind of a big deal
that is a big
in the
deal.
art space.
Yeah.
So Joy Conti, thereby ergo, is also a big deal. So I just, in case people didn't know, I wanted to make sure to give you a big up here. That is a very well respected university or college, and they produce obviously very talented artists.
Thank
So
you.
yeah.
They will drill all the technical skill in you. That's
Mm,
their goal. And there are a lot of photography schools that will emphasize like, okay, what's your style? And yes, that is great to explore.
mm,
But from my experience, I think coming straight out of high school, it was great for me to learn all the technical skill of how it is to photograph outdoors, how you bring lighting into the situation, because not everything that you're going to see is going to be lit well. Like sometimes you're going
mm,
to have a beautiful location, you're like, oh, the lighting is awful. And because people are so trained to like take their phones and kind of go like this,
yeah.
right? They don't quite realize that when it comes to photography, the photographer should be able to bring light in and light the space.
Well, and that's like fluorescent lighting as an example. It makes everything look yellow. And if you are not prepared to deal with that, man, that is some ugly stuff. Ugly. And actually one of the things we were talking about before we got started was, the fact that you really light people with darker skin very well. It's a critique that my husband and I have. My husband is dark skinned, And so there are times where I'm like, yo, did y'all not have a single light so that I could see my husband's face on this screen? What is happening right now?
That, and also lately with the dawn of the digital age, and by dawn that was years ago, excuse me, but I think people just get really hung up with the amount of filters that they can put over a photo, right? It's like filter this, filter that, so many filters, and I'm like, oh my god, is this because of Instagram, like back in 2010? Like I don't know. But you need to know how to use the filter. You need to know how to use these things that you put over your photo and
Tools.
what it does
Yeah.
to people. Yeah, the
Yeah.
tools and what it does to people's skin,
Yeah.
what it does to maybe the color of whatever it is that they're wearing. Because here's another trend that I've seen is kind of graying the photo out to make it look like all the colors within the photo is a little bit more cohesive. And that's something that you have to do prior to the photo shoot. You know, you have to think about whether the location matches the energy and the vibration vibe of the person. What is the person wearing? Does it all make sense for that person to be where they are and wearing what they're wearing?
Interesting. Well, and especially if you're desaturating photos or something like that, there's color still matters. And so if you're not thinking about those things ahead of time, so now what would you say, what would you get, what are like the top 3 trends that are good that you're seeing that some of our viewers might be able to replicate or work into their portfolio?
Yeah, in terms of like what kind of photography they should have.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. What's cool this year? Is it like, because let me give you an example of what I'm thinking of. Here's what I'm aiming at.
Yeah.
Okay. There is a new kind of advertising that drives me insane. Okay.
Do tell.
It's the I'm a person and I'm walking down the street and I'm talking on my phone and I'm selling you something and it's like supposed to look authentic or something. And I'm like, nah, bro, why don't you have a microphone? If you got money, if you're freaking Grant Cardone or whatever, and you're like a gajillionaire, what you can't afford a freaking mic to hook up to your phone, bro? I don't believe you. I'm not giving you my money. I hate that crap. So that's a video example of something that drives me crazy. Right? So what are some things that people are doing like with photography that are good that we should encourage?
Yeah, I think seeing more of, if you're a business owner, being
Yeah.
able to show your face in front of the lens would be
Yeah.
great. Um, I think, I mean, that's a trend that's been going on for a while because when
Yeah.
people think of the word branding, they see that with a
Mm,
rainbow. It's a really great marketing term, but to me, coming from the school that I came from and
yeah.
learning what I know about photography, that's a mixture of portraiture and
Mm,
lifestyle photography and advertising commercial photography. You know,
okay.
now we just have this beautiful packaged word called branding.
Yeah.
Um, ooh, thank you. Is
See,
everybody doing it?
you said rainbow and it made me think of this picture.
Yeah.
So, would this be like lifestyle?
This would be, it could be lifestyle if we're thinking maybe you're a fashion brand trying to sell
Mm,
your work.
okay.
This could fall under lifestyle for sure. And
Okay.
I actually did that image for a local fashion designer who
Oh,
upcycles a lot of clothing. So
okay.
yeah, yeah,
All right. So portraiture,
yes.
would that be like some of this stuff maybe?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay.
So this would fall under branding for sure.
Okay.
Um,
Yes.
and actually, most of these pictures are for either Austin Woman to Watch, which was
Ah,
a way for people to advertise what they did.
yeah.
And also, some of these are also
Oh,
people's branding. Oh, look
oh,
at
who's that? Oh,
that!
who's that? Oh, there it is. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, there we are. Museum of Ice Cream. We had way too much fun. Okay.
Yep.
So this is the kind of thing that you're saying is good to have. Add some portraiture, put your face out there, be willing to be part of your brand.
Yeah. Because I
Yeah.
think it's a good way for people to go, oh, this is the person behind the brand. Energetically speaking, if you look at somebody's portrait, I
Yeah.
think you can understand who they are and what they're about.
Yeah.
But part of that equation is also having a good photographer, a professional photographer who can capture your energy and your
Yeah.
essence, right?
Yeah.
So portraiture is definitely important so people can connect with you. When they see eyes, they can go, oh, okay, got it. Like I can make
Yeah.
eye contact with this person. And that's something that you need present on your website, right? I'm not stepping here to talk about websites, but websites
Yeah.
are that's the way that people get to know your work, who you are, what you do.
Yes.
Social media can be very fleeting. It,
Mm,
it's here one day, gone the next.
yeah.
So
Trends.
yeah, trends as well. Just like
Yeah.
that shaky video trend.
Oh, why? Why, bro?
I mean, if we do want to explore that a little bit, I think some people are scared of looking a little too set up. Because sometimes I know.
What? Oh, what people are going to think you're a try hard? I don't like what?
I have no idea.
Oh my
I
God.
it's really
Okay.
interesting. It's really interesting. I think
Am I
I think
too old? Am I just old, Joy? Is that what this is?
no. I think it's opinion. It's definitely
Okay.
opinion based. It's definitely following the trends without really asking, does this trend actually go with what I'm trying to say and who I am?
Mm. Well, and one of the things I really appreciated about our photo shoot was that we had calls ahead of time. You asked me what my goals were. You asked me what I cared about. You asked me, you had this whole list of questions and things. And then you came with some inspiration. And, you had the money gun idea, which was amazing. And I was like, that's perfect. That is I already know what we're gonna. I pictured I had the picture in my head. I was like, we're gonna do Charlie's Angels. I'm gonna order 3. It's gonna be perfect. And so, it seems like you really try to capture ahead of time. You said something about that already. Like you do the work ahead of time. You prepare ahead of time for the photo shoot.
Yeah, in I want to say in any kind of production work, it's you call it pre-production,
Right.
right? You make sure that everything is lined up, all your ducks are in a row, and I guess if you're physically preparing for a photo shoot, you make sure that you iron and prepare your clothes a day before, not the day of.
Yes.
Um,
I'm
but,
already
but
thinking
yeah,
about whether or not I can get a blowout before Friday.
ooh, I
Anyway,
think
sorry I interrupted.
no, all good. I think that might be possible. Um, but yeah, it's the pre-planning where
Yeah.
you try to envision how you want your shoot to be. That's why I
Hmm.
ask all these questions before, like what we did this maybe 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks before the photo shoot. And I
Yeah.
give you all that time so you have time to maybe you need to go out and buy something or rent something for your clothes, or you need to get a blowout, you need to get whatever done.
Yeah.
That gives you time to prepare. And
Yep.
it's not just a, oh God, my hair is on fire, I need this photo shoot kind of situation. I need it now. And then what?
Yep.
You have
Yep.
like maybe
Exactly.
less than an
Exactly.
hour, a couple minutes to maybe get your stuff together. Um, just want to quickly go back to the money gun because it's really
Yeah.
interesting. You know how
Yeah.
I have all these like, oh God, please don't have a laptop in front of you when we're doing the
Mm.
shoot. Please don't do this.
Yeah. The this thing, the like back to back, like, hey,
Yeah,
why?
yeah.
Please don't do that. Yeah.
Don't do but the money gun was the one thing that I started seeing with certain photographers that were um, specifically marketing themselves as just a branding photographer. And I'm like, there has to be a
Mm.
good reason. And I remember, I think I told you this, where I was like, I'm seeing this stupid trend. And I was like, hold on, wait, this actually works for I Love Your Money. So yes, there is a reason for why you put things in there, right?
Yeah.
Like the money gun works for your business, Ericka, or your business is literally called I Love Your Money. Maybe the laptop makes sense for somebody who repairs laptops, but then I've been wanting to do the shoot for a while. Like have multiples of those laptops to make it look a little bit more unique,
Yeah.
right? And
Yeah.
even with the mugs, like maybe you're a ceramicist, then it makes sense to have like a mug with you so many other reasons. But if
Yeah.
you're literally putting just a random laptop and a mug, you
Oh,
see the
yeah.
Apple logo, and you're not even getting sponsored by Apple, and you're getting
Yeah.
photographed like that.
Here's the deal. If it's something you can get off of Story Blocks, some copyright free photo, what's the point? I can do that for free in my launch cart, we have a store with some merch and it will make mock-ups for me. I don't need to pay a legitimate photographer to do that. I want something cool and sexy and interesting. I was actually thinking even about like a fisheye lens or something for Friday, or one of those anyway, I have ideas. We're not going to get derailed on my photo shoot this week in this interview, you guys. Okay, so going back, so we got one trend that's good. Use portraiture, put your face in front. What would you say is another positive trend that people should follow?
I think the other positive trend that I'm seeing are more people, at least within my sphere, at least the people I follow, are wearing things that complement them or are very eye grabbing, right? I mean, they're not necessarily wearing a clown suit. You know what? Unless, oh my God, see, like I always find reasons where I'm like, you could wear a clown suit if you're actually part of the purpose. Like, I don't know. I would love to do that for somebody now. But yeah, it's something that just really describes them. And I think that's going to be the trend for this year too. Even with fashion, I have a feeling that people are going to lean more towards the personalized, a little further away from the structured, and a little bit more bohemian.
You saying that made me think of this cover that you did for Austin Woman, because she's in the cannabis space. And look at her outfit. It's green. Like this, it all makes sense. Like that picture all makes sense.
Thank you. Oh, want to add one more thing about this photo, because this is probably one of my favorite stories on an Austin Woman cover.
Yeah.
It was actually her birthday. This was Amy Sweet's birthday. And it was me, the stylist, the editor at the time, singing happy birthday to her. And she literally put her hand on her heart and was smiling genuinely, right? Aww. Like I staged that entire photo. I had an intuitive pull to bring a random piece of white cloth, and it worked. And it actually just, now that I'm looking at it too, it matches what she's wearing inside of her jacket. So there's cohesiveness there. But yeah, it's sometimes creating memories like that and creating very candid moments that, to a degree, you stage. But that's something that I like to bring to my shoots, is that yes, I'm going to stage you. Yes, we're going to set everything for you, but I'm going to capture who you are candidly, because I'm going to give you prompts. Maybe people will sing to you. Who knows?
Yeah, I love these. I mean, look at how well lit that is. I mean, you mentioned that the picture should tell a story, and that, I guess, is what did you call it? The degree? Photographic illustration.
Photographic illustration.
Oh, I got it. Okay, so that's it. I mean, you are literally you're creating a picture, you're illustrating a story with the photo.
Yep. Thank you for pointing that out, because I think that was an aha moment right now for me too. I was like, I'm always setting the stage, but I'm literally drawing in real time kind of situation.
I love it, you guys. Okay. So then one more tip. Let's give them 3.
I think the third one is being able to just show up the way that you are now. Like, of course, I will get some pushback from people who are like, well, I want to lose weight. I want to do this and I want to do that. But more and more people, I think, I've seen, just kind of like what you said I guess that's probably the one positive thing about just having that shaky thing and they're doing their own thing, is that they're just showing up. And now's better than later, always. So why not?
That's the truth.
And it's one of those things too that I feel like, if it is hard for you to maybe show up the way that you are now, reach out to a professional who can help you, whatever that might mean, right? I mean, of
Yeah.
course, I'm going to say I'm going to advocate for my own work, which I'm a professional photographer. I can make you feel effortless no matter
Yeah.
what you're wearing, what you're doing, how you look now. But also, who else can make you feel great before
Mm.
that photo shoot that you need to do? I mean,
Yeah.
so
Well, and I love, when you said show up like you are, it made me think of your assignments page. I mean, these are just like on the spot, in the moment with people, I mean, and it's all different kinds of people in all different kinds of locations. Like you're just there with people.
yeah. And I really love working with people, and it has nothing. Actually, no. Yeah, I mean, still lifes can't really talk to you, though a good photographer can make a still life talk, right? Um, but for
Yes.
me, I like being able to connect with people live and being
Yeah.
able to direct them, whatever that might mean, and see where their energy is at, meeting them where that energy is at, and then being able to capture that. That specific portfolio that you showed is in the assignment section.
Yeah.
That's what I kind of consider more editorial
Mm.
photojournalistic work.
Okay.
Where these things aren't necessarily staged, but they are photographed in an eye that's not just like, okay, point and shoot, right?
Mm.
There was some thought, and there's a reason why I'm pointing the camera a certain way.
Yeah.
Maybe it's the way that the person is smiling. Maybe it's the way that the person is dressed. Maybe it's the way that the light is interacting with the people.
Yeah.
This is in Anthropologie, the one in is it
Yeah.
South Lamar? They have all these, yeah.
She's so happy. Like, look at how beautiful that is. The depth of field. This is stunning.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
This was for their holiday styling event last year. And
Yeah.
I love that Anthropologie. Everybody there who works there just wants to help you. And
Aw.
it was so easy to photograph them because they were literally that genuinely happy.
Oh, that is so cool. Yeah, I mean, these are just beautiful,
Thank you.
and it seems like what is so funny to me. Now, here's the deal. I'm sure you get this all the time. People say things like, "Well, I do some photography." How often have you heard that? I do
A
some
good amount of
photography.
time.
Well, Joy Conti, I do some photography, or I used to, and it's just I took art history in college, and you could like either write a paper or do a photo journal, and I was like, duh, that is an obvious whatever. And this was back when digital photography was not yet a thing. Okay. So I had to use a camera. I had to pay for the film and the development and the whole thing. And I loved it. And I could take a very decent picture. Okay. But I never had the lights and the bounces and I always just think it's so funny when people are like, well, I've got a camera. I've got a camera, because, right, yeah, sure you do, but this lens has limitations, right? And people don't know, like, for example, I prefer to have a 50 millimeter lens when I'm shooting. That's not what I'm on right now, but I prefer a 50 millimeter because what is that called? Like a prime lens or something where
Yeah.
it's like what your eye sees.
The prime lens, I think, is one of those lenses that you can't zoom in and out. It's
Oh,
just
okay. That's
where it is. Yeah.
okay. But what's the 50 millimeter? There's something about that does something.
Yeah, people say that that is the closest to how our eye is actually seeing something.
Yeah.
The crazy part is I did that experiment and I think my eye is closer to 40. Now I know that's like really like detailed and minuscule, but this is why like you figure it out. Well,
Well, and
I
that's
like to figure that out.
but you actually just proved my point is that yeah, you can take a picture with the photo, but you don't know what the lenses are doing, how they shape your face and your nose, like how they can make you look further or closer. And so, what would you say as we get ready to close? Now, we talked a little bit about the things that drive you crazy, right? Don't just take a picture with the laptop. Don't, the cross on the like back to back, meh. Like, what would you say is one thing that everyone should stop doing immediately?
Oh my gosh. Thinking that you can probably do everything yourself, because I'm sorry, you can't. And I'm not just saying that about photography, because I'm also saying that about bookkeeping. There's a reason why I work with you, Ericka. Like, I can't do that. But really, like, I think there are so many people out there
Yeah.
that can help you, that want to help you. Let them help you.
Yeah.
And understand that, yeah, it is an investment, but if you want to grow as a person or as a business or a person business, whatever it is, you have to invest in other people. You have to
Yeah.
invest in yourself. Like, that's it, you know.
Yep.
Um, yeah, I
I
don't know if that hit the nail on the head.
That definitely hit the nail on the head, Joy. I love it because I can tell you, we had basic photos on our website and social media before, but there has like people comment on our photos now. People engage with them on social media. I have had so many people make references to our website and our photography. That's never happened before. And if our goal with advertising and marketing, all the stuff we're doing on social media, our goal is to stop the scroll, right? And you're not going to do that with some basic behind photo that you took that has no depth of field, no contrast, no, nothing that makes it, sexy or cool. It doesn't really have to be sexy. Okay, that you know what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying. But and so I love that you said that. You guys, it is an investment in your business and in you. I highly, highly, highly recommend it. I highly recommend you go and hire Joi Conti because she's freaking awesome. Links to all her website and everything are in the description. So go check her out and hire her. Do you travel outside of Central Texas?
I do travel. It's happening real soon, actually. Last year I was able to do it once, but then yeah, I have a shoot coming in California.
Ooh,
And
okay.
then, I'm going to manifest this now. Anybody needs a shoot in Italy, let me know. I'll be there next year. So,
Holler at your
Italy.
girl. You need a bookkeeper. I'll go too. Let's
I
do
think
it.
so.
I love it. All right. Well, Joi Conti, thank you so much for joining us today, talking about photography, why it's so important, and what people can do to improve their space.
Yeah, thank you so much again for having this space for me to just sit and talk with you. This was so much fun. And yeah, please let me know if there's anything else that I can do to help.
All right. And we'll see you Friday for our photo shoot. All right.
Absolutely.
All right.
Absolutely.
Bye, Joy. Bye, everybody.
Bye. Thank you.